Are we undead? On the list here. Hi, everybody.
Just lost. Okay. All
Hi,
right.
guys.
Fixed the problem. Wow.
Darn, I was going to take over the stream myself.
All right. Folks, we are live. First of all, I hope you saw that awesome intro. I guess the man with no screen name likes it. That intro was an updated intro from Taladar, longtime sub and supporter of the show. It says Super Commoner Wildlands, which is now I've got specific intros for this and an upcoming campaign. So very cool stuff. And also a big thank you to everyone who subscribed over the last few days. Especially specifically Scaremare. Thank you, Scaremare, who gave out 5 Tier 1 community sub gifts. I don't even know what to say. Thank you so much. Supporting the stream, keeping me going. You're keeping the enthusiasm high, Scaremare. And wherever you are, I hope you're able to join us tonight so I can thank you properly. Thank you. Guys, let's play the Wildlands campaign. Welcome back to the Wildlands campaign. We have everyone here, but we're missing one, Corey, who will be... Vapos is kind of gone into a bit of shock after his close call, almost being completely digested by this horrifying, shambling mound, this monstrosity of rotten plant matter from the depths of the swamp, somehow controlled by the leader of the Gnolls, this Gnoll patrol, who kind of performed some weird ritual with these fanged punching daggers, if you will. Now, as you have been cleaning yourselves up of the Gnoll blood, and perhaps some of your own blood after the battle, you've been searching them, finding some interesting stuff. You find 37 pieces of copper amongst the Gnoll corpses. You find 20 pieces of silver and 15 pieces of gold. So that was 37, 20, and 15. You also find these fangs of Yinogu punching daggers, like the ones that this guy is wearing, which seem quite strange and powerful. Although they certainly would not allow you to, they would certainly require they're an exotic weapon. They seem quite interesting and powerful. I don't know if you want to take them or not, as they are stained with this guy's blood, as well as other nastier things, perhaps. Amongst the various slain Gnolls, the Hyena Men are carrying many trophies of past battles. They are mostly parts of kobolds. There are kobold skulls and dried kobold fingers. Nasty trophies. There are also some humanoid bits and pieces here and there. Although it's predominantly those kinds of things. You also recover one of these weird charms that they were all wearing. most of the charms were disintegrated in a flash of brimstone and smoke when the gnolls got their sort of second lease on life. There seems to have been an extra one being carried by their leader. Now, it is a strange little amulet on a leather strap. It seems to be made of a rat skull with horns carven into some other piece of bone. And it's strange and disturbing, especially when you turn over the amulet and you find that there is a weird pulsating rune meant to lie against the wearer's chest.
I do not touch it.
Noted. As tempting as it is. Finally, there are these dog tags. They look like they are written in Draconic, like soldiers' identification tags. Mostly they are attached to various trophies of dead kobolds. And there is one more thing. There is this book. This guy had a book strapped to his belt amongst his many other trophies and charms. This book is wrapped in a kind of pale leather. And pinned to the cover is a severed kobold hand dangling on a strap. So that is lying in the muck with his body at the moment. It did catch your eye, Bella.
Well, I am going to pick it up gingerly and open it up and see what's inside. I alert the person standing next to me that I'm about to probably get cursed, which is our current safety protocol.
The book says across the front, it is this kind of burned into the slightly pale leather. You slowly realize that it is made of some humanoid's skin.
Ew.
You're not sure whether human, elf, or dwarf, but across the top is the title, burned into the skin. Book of the Butcher.
That seems fine.
You said you open it and read. On the inside cover,
Yeah.
there's an ex libris. It says, "This book containeth the magics and musings of Mordred the Butcher von Zagrum, journeyman necromancer and student of the Hollow One. Let he who dares open this book and learn the secrets of the dark powers. Only one who standeth in the Mistmire and proclaimeth loyalty to my master shall receive its greatest mysteries." the heart of the Mistmire.
Okay, well, I would like to knowledge history check on Mordred the Butcher von Zagrum.
Certainly.
$21.
Same name as the guy who came out of the tooth.
Right, that's what I've heard that before. That creepy vampire guy. All right. Well, gosh.
Would you read further? Flip through it?
Yeah, I'll read further.
Okay. Pending.
It's not just me anymore. It's not just me.
I'm starting to feel left out.
You flip through it quickly and realize that this is a book of spells. There are all kinds of notations, magic words, special inks. Some of the words shift and flow across the page, wriggling like living things on the parchment or vellum pages.
Interesting.
There are some extensive notes here and there in the margins, which you can look at in greater depth. But you are interrupted at this moment as the merfolk is shouting out at Bliss, who is standing nearby, and saying, "Had you not just saved my life, I would challenge you to a duel for maligning the good name of my lady." He clutches at something around his neck.
Bliss, it just looks really sad. This is exactly what he expected. And he will just say, "Well, I hope she treats you well. I would urge that you escape this bondage, but it seems it's too late. I had to say something for my own conscience sake, but it's clear that your heart is set, and I cannot blame you." He can't even look at this guy, and unless he says anything else, I think Bliss is just going to leave him alone, and he wants to find somewhere to just be away from this guy.
He doesn't want to leave it alone. He says,
Okay.
he says, "What do you know of her? What do you know of her?"
I know nothing of the one you speak. I simply know what it means to love one such as she.
What an uncouth churl. You would speak ill of her, but you know her not?
How long have you known this fairy?
I have known her. It feels as though 100 years have passed since I first laid eyes upon her perfect visage. She visited at the Coral Court. She gave me this. She looked with favor upon me. All beings at the Coral Court, merfolk, tritons, all at the Coral Court of Nandruk were taken by her beauty. but she showed me favor. Gave me this pendant.
Is he letting me see it?
Who's nearby, besides Vapos, who's kind of in shock right now?
Carrie, probably.
Your voice isn't coming through, Bella. Can anyone else hear her?
No, I can't hear her
I
right
heard
now.
something from her for like a second.
I think I would have headed after the combat wrapped up and I saw things were calming down. I would have headed over as well.
Okay. I'm going to assume... Well, I guess I don't know whether Bella is still looking at the book or has joined this conversation or not.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we heard that.
Yay.
In fact, clearer than
Okay,
before.
good. All right, I just blipped out for a second.
Okay. What were you saying?
I was going to wander over and ask him if he'd ever taken the pendant off since he met her.
He looks up at you and he says, I would fain keep it close to mine heart.
Max,
But
the name
you-
Celia. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
He when he speaks of the pendant, he kind of shows it for a second. And you can all see it's a little gem on a chain, on a little chain, a little silver chain that that looks, the gem and the style of the pendant's casing looks identical to the larger, more elaborate choker that Bliss is wearing.
So, Max, do I recognize the name Celia? Because that's not one of the names Bliss knows as the Fae that he's the person that he's very familiar with. That's not one of her names that he knows. Has he heard this name before?
Nico the player and Bliss the character have come to the same conclusion based on the information available. Also, he did just say, Serenian just said, I know her secret name.
I see.
She
Okay.
spoke it to me. The only other one she gave a gift to at the court was Nandruk himself, and they do say it was only something to be kept safe by him, for it was something that could do my lady harm, if not as far away as possible. It was not a gift of favor as my pendant.
Okay. I think upon seeing the pendant, Bliss's eyes go wide, and his voice drops low, and he asks, "Is she near here?"
He says, I know not, but I would cross the whole of the Wildlands to find her.
Bliss kneels
My
down,
heart and my pendant tells me the direction I must go. He turns east.
Which direction have we been traveling?
East.
Fuck.
Yeah, we've been going.
Okay. Bliss is visibly shaking, and he's holding his arms, and he looks at the merman and he says, Did Did she say she was looking for someone? Did she say if she was looking for someone at all?
He doesn't answer right away. He's kind of holding the pendant in the palm of his hand, and he says, and north, east and north. What was that? Looking for someone? Nay.
Yes.
She had come to the Coral Court of Nandruk, there to safely stow something that could do my lady harm.
When he says nay, there's like if anyone who's looking at Bliss, for a second, for a moment, Bliss looks utterly heartbroken. In fact, you think there might be like a single tear that comes down his eye, but it just lasts for a moment, and then he just kind of like shakes his head, and he turns away and says, I am sorry. I was wrong. I do know who you speak, and I know you need to get away. You need to get away. You need to leave. I'm sorry. I can't say anything else. And he is gone. He's like he's completely. If the merman speaks to him anymore, he's not going to respond. He is like, his tail is curled around his leg. He is completely absorbed into himself right now.
Okay. Well, Sirenin, he has these sort of, it's subtle, but he has these sort of gills on the side of his neck, and they're kind of flaring up, and he says, I know not what has betaken that one, but the rest of you, I thank you very much. I must return to the waters, there to make my path to find my lady. He's still bruised somewhat and scratched up by the gnolls making sport of him. I'm sorry, I cut you off, Bella. What was that?
I say, of course, let us know if we can help you find your way.
None can help me find my way but my own heart and this pendant. But I will look upon that fair visage once more. My Celia. And he whispers something else under his breath. He says, I would warn you before I go. The hyena men were speaking of the Onsigum tribe, which apparently also patrols these parts, a tribe of kobolds at war with the hyena men.
I see. Well, thank you for the warning.
Thou art welcome, good lady. He pauses as he looks at you. You look strangely familiar somehow.
I'm sure I would remember if we'd met. I suppose perhaps you're familiar with my family, the Endoral family. That's usually why people recognize me.
Ah, I do believe that my brother has read your books.
Oh!
Bella Endoral, no?
Yes, that's me. Well, tell him thank you. I'm delighted.
So I shall. He has often been a reader of travel books, not being much of a traveler on the dry lands himself.
I hope he's found some use in them.
Indeed. Your books are quite popular at the
Among
court.
people. I never would have guessed.
They tell of places that many of us shall not visit.
Well, as I say, I'm utterly delighted to hear it. Perhaps I'll pay a visit sometime.
Perhaps you shall. He looks around. Mighty warriors, I take my leave. Thank you again for saving my life.
Of course.
Know that should we ever meet again, Cyranian at your service. And he, more or less gracefully, moves himself to the edge and dives off, with hardly a ripple in the murky water.
I think as he goes, as he like kind of jumps into the water, Bliss will just turn and whisper, "Good luck," and give him a level 1 healing word, because he's hurt.
Well, he'll bear some of those scars, but you heal him before he disappears. A little bit more. Perhaps it'll keep him alive a little while longer in the incredibly dangerous area of the Wildlands that you're in.
Yep.
After all this happened, Akiri noticed that Bliss was looking a little stressed, and she's gonna slip her arm into his and go, "You okay?"
She's not even. No, I'm fine. No, I'm not fine. But it's okay. Sorry, I don't know what came over me. We should go check on the eggs.
He also knows that Bliss is a little bit hurt. She's gonna give him a quick cure wounds.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's go check him out.
All right. As you guys approach the egg cart, the grayish beast backs off a ways into the swamp. But he's still visible as a tall, heavily muscular figure through the mist, his 6 orange eyes gleaming.
Akiri waves at him. Thank you.
The long, clawed hand waves back slowly.
Hi, I love him. So yeah, Akiri and Bliss are gonna check the eggies.
I think Bliss at this point just climbs into the cart, curls up with the eggs, prestidigitates to warm them up, and he's just vibing in there. He needs some time, so he's just gonna chill. You guys can. I mean, if you guys need him for something, he'll come help. But like, if no one needs him for anything, he's vibing with the eggs right now.
Would you guys like to continue traveling after this?
What time is it?
It's late midday.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Yeah, I think so.
Keep going for a time. Start looking for a place to set up camp, though. I think everyone needs a bit of a lie down after that battle.
Yeah.
Okay. You continue in the direction you were going. The mists begin to close around you as the sun sets. And night begins to creep up in the deep swamp. You make camp. Will you light a fire to warm yourselves and your meal, or not?
We probably shouldn't, but we also have a gray render walking around, so I feel like he evens the odds just a little bit.
And if we set up a watch, I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, after what we went through today, I think it's worth the risk.
Okay. Well, the fire warms your bones. You guys have a sense of being so very alone out here in the wilderness. Even though the swamp is teeming with nighttime creatures and, well, patrols, after all. You are far away from any civilized assistance.
What hex are we in again? 5-7?
That's for me to know, and you to try to keep track of.
5-8. I wasn't here, Max.
We're either in 5-7 or 5-8. I think we went southeast, which would put us in 5-8.
So we're gonna set up a watch?
Probably should.
I can watch first.
I think I'll go first with Mava. Bliss is a little wired right now.
All right. Bliss and Mava, please make perception rolls. As everyone finishes eating their dinner, sets up their tent on the relatively dry hillock here in the Mistmire. And the flickering light of your campfire dances on the clouds of mist all around.
Bliss is a little distracted.
Well, Mavra, as usual, makes up for everybody else's shortcomings.
Yep.
Right.
Mavra is our fallback.
Mavra, Bliss is like completely, he's not paying attention at all. He's not on watch, basically. With a 7.
Okay, I got it.
Indeed. You keep a close eye. The bugs have quieted down. The frogs have ceased their evening chorus. And there was the sound of creatures occasionally trudging through the rushes and clambering in bushes here and there. But nothing approaches your camp but an abundance of moths and other insects drawn by the light. As the moon rises, a kind of song starts up near the side of the camp where the eggs are in the cart. And a hulking shape squats on top of a broken down tree. This is toward the end of your watch.
Honestly, it makes me feel feel a little bit safer knowing he's there.
Okay. Mabra, you have to tell Bliss it's the watch is over.
Bliss, go to bed.
Oh, sorry. Thank you. He gets up and goes to the cart if the render lets him, and just kind of curls up with the eggs under the blanket.
The render, the gray render, makes a kind of motion when you approach them, but it just kind of steps off the log, blinks from one side to the other. It's 6 orange eyes in sequence, and decides that you are not meaning the eggs any harm.
He kind of bows respectfully. He's putting off a very submissive, like, non-threatening posture as he curls up with the eggs.
Okay. The thing around your neck weighs heavily on you, pulling you toward the land of slumber. And were it not for the wood smoke in your nose, you suspect you would be smelling that perfume. Who's on the second watch?
I'll go.
Go to.
Well, whoever's on second watch, roll a perception roll, please.
Twins!
We didn't screw up, guys. Akiri rolled over like double digits. She rolled over like a 12.
We're very proud of you. Your sight has been restored.
For now.
Distant sound of creatures lurking in the Mistmire. More moths fluttering around the flames. They're weirder looking than before. The patterns look very much like purple eyes on their wings, until they fly too close and catch a light.
We notice, besides the patterns, do we notice anything else about the moths?
They're rather large, the size of my hand. But although they seem to be affected by the magic of the Mistmire in some way, they are not particularly. They have that strange marking. That's all. It's quite startling sometimes to see eyes flashing past. They look very much like eyes. And toward the last hour of your watch, you hear every now and then, since you're so alert and on watch, you can hear this faint whispering when the wind is still and the rushes aren't rattling together too much.
Akiri's gonna glance over at the gray room, see if he's on edge or anything.
He seems to have faded into the swamp.
Okay.
I will be glad when we are out of this place.
It's getting creepy.
Okay. You guys maintain your watch and do not react to the whispering much. So, your watch will come to an end. Bella and Vapos on third watch. Right?
Seems like
Okay.
that's a 14.
Vapos is really in shock. He's not much use. But about an hour into your watch, in the darkest part of the wee hours, Vapos snags your elbow and points. Bella,
Okay.
there's a light. A not so distant light bobbing. It's kind of seems like it's going behind trees or something. As though someone with a lantern is moving around out there.
Well, I'll watch that direction to make sure that they don't come too much closer. I mean, other people have as much right to be wandering around out here as we do, but I'll still watch it to make sure that it doesn't seem like a threat.
It does seem like it's coming closer.
Keep watching.
Kind of bobbing as though with someone walking.
All right. I'll keep watching. I've got my weapon close by.
The light is moving closer, but at a kind of oblique angle.
Okay. Weird.
Not coming directly toward your fire. As though whoever it is might be circling around it.
Okay.
And it starts to pass you by in the distance. And approaches an area where, having just passed through it in daylight, you know there's a wide morass of like a filmy pond.
Mm. All right. I'll keep an ear out for anyone yelling.
It winks out, and you hear a distant splash.
Okay. Well, someone had way worse luck than we're having tonight.
All right.
If I'm not hearing any cries for help or sounds of distress, I'm not going to leave the group.
just more distant animal sounds. And, of course, more of these moths with their purple eyes attracted to the light of your fire. Okay. As you stand watch, Bella, eventually it starts to get bright in the sky. And the next day dawns. Congratulations, guys. You've made it to the 19th of Mand.
We didn't die!
Right?
What would you like to do now? As you
Unless
guys...
anyone has anything they need to do, I guess we take off.
Okay.
Sounds good to me. This would super extra special like to not be here.
Dawn is a strange feeling in the Mistmire. There's the chorus of frogs that sounds as the sun comes up, and birds and other creatures. And the day, it never quite gets as bright as you'd expect it to, because the sun is filtered through so much mist. It kind of gives the light this weird, almost twilight quality. But it is day in the Mistmire. You can break your camp. You can eat your rations. Make sure to mark off another day's rations from the previous day. And as it is dawn, your items with charges receive another charge. You guys had a fire going, so you regained 1 hit die if you had spent any hit dice. You regain all your spell slots, and all your HP resets to your maximum. What now?
I suggest we go northeast.
That was my thought. They said there were haunted battlefields further to the south. I think it'd be best if we avoided those.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. You guys get your bearings and head to the northeast. You're following a kind of old track through the swamp. It disappears in some places, reappears in others. Sometimes it's nothing more than indicated by nothing more than a few logs here and there laid across parts of the difficult to navigate pools. Oh, by the way, I should say on stream, thank you. Kudos to the Neutral Party Patreon, that awesome that we were using in our battle. Guys, in order to make your way safely through the Mistmire, and actually about midday, it's going to start getting drier. You are going to start reaching a different forest. Because the land starts to rise and change a bit. But, guys, how will you try to travel safely through the swamp using your available skills? Who wants to jump up and attempt to do this first? You need four check marks before you get 3 fails, and it is quite difficult going in this terrain.
Akiri would like to use survival to help navigate the sturdiest, or try to help find the sturdiest, least boggy path.
Okay, what is she going to use to do that?
Survival. And she's gonna
Certainly.
if she's staying on the ground, just kind of picking her way. She's
Mm-hmm.
probably got like a stick, and she's like poking around in front of her.
Nice. All right, she's using her survival skills to navigate around the mire. Go ahead, survival roll. Damn. A big check mark for that. All right, temp HP for even making the roll. How else will you guys attempt to travel safely?
I'll make a performance check to play an encouraging song
Okay.
and get a natural 20.
Sick.
Oh my goodness. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's going to be 2 check marks. With a natural 20. 1 temp HP for you, Bella. Can you guys close off a perfect score here?
Can I use my strength to try to push the cart and make sure that I don't get it stuck in anything in the mushy terrain?
Absolutely. You want to use athletics for that? Strength athletics? Or constitution athletics?
I think it'd be strength for me, bro.
Alright. There we go. Oh, no! Oh, no!
That feels right.
Boy.
That feels right. Let's be honest. That feels.
So that's going to be 2 X's as you guys lose like a couple of hours when the wagon gets stuck in the mire and you have to really like figure something out to tug it out. Meanwhile, the eggs are rattling around and the gray render starts howling, shaking the birds from the trees as they go flapping up, attracting lots of attention from the local fauna. By the way, you are now at this point in the day in the final vestiges. It's starting to get drier, and so since it's less wet and watery, it actually got stuck in quicksand, like this thick sucking mud, as you start climbing out of the Mistmire and heading toward this forest. And you can kind of see, in more or less the direction you're going, to the northeast, this thick column of smoke. And when you finally tug the wagon out of the muck and make more progress and get closer, you can see that this thick column of straight up and down smoke isn't blowing in the wind. And there's lightning crackling down through the smoke.
Well, that seems bad.
This is fine.
There's a kind of swirl of clouds form is that you can see formed at the top or up in the sky above the column of smoke, and multicolored lightning, rainbow lightning, is flashing down, interspersed through the column, like weaving its way down. It's quite beautiful and quite terrifying.
Do I recognize this form of? This feels magical. Do I recognize this?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay.
No.
13.
You do not
Okay.
recognize it. You have never seen anything like this.
Got it.
Guys, the next travel roll will determine success or failure here.
Mm-hmm.
As the terrain is shifting from swamp to forest, I'm going to keep a sharp eye out, as who knows what new dangers may lurk. Perhaps more gnolls, perhaps those kobolds we were warned about. Whatever it may be, I'm going to keep an eye, make sure no danger sneaks up on us.
Okay. So that will be perception. A 22. Bref, you notice something following the creature that's following you. But you steer everybody, you kind of call attention to it and steer everyone in a direction that seems to lose whomever was following you in the fading mists and now thick trees. Guys, do you want to head directly toward the column of smoke and lightning, the magic storm that's happening?
Akiri's actually going to offer to go on ahead and check it out.
Okay. So it's really like it's camping. It's the time you guys would normally camp. Almost. So I guess my question is, do you want to... Okay, Akiri will go and check it out. Okay, she's going to scout. Alright. Akiri, I'm going to ask you to make a constitution roll. A constitution saving throw. Because you're trying to do like a fast flight. Fast and sneaky flight. Okay. That works out quite well. Akiri, you can see that this column of smoke... Okay, you notice three things. Number one, the magic storm that's forming above the column of smoke is getting bigger and spreading out over the rest of this area of the forest. It's like these swirling clouds forming and spreading this multicolored lightning. Number two, as you approach the source of it, you can see, there's something on the ground. You can see a building. You see a construction of sorts. It's actually kind of small compared with the size of this column of smoke and the magic storm that's occurring. But it looks like a wooden sort of fort hidden amongst the thick trees of this forest. And you can see, the third thing you can see without getting any closer is that the area, this small wooden fort, is teeming with small creatures. and there's this red hot, glowing, molten metal looking, like a pot, a giant cauldron or pot of full of molten metal that seems to be generating this column of smoke in the middle of that little wooden fort. Do you want to fly closer and check it out? Although, at this point, you know, you guys are about your friends are about an hour's hike away from this place at this point, so fairly close. You want to tell them to? You want to go back and tell them to get closer, turn away? You want to go closer to check it out yourself? What do you want to do?
She's gonna get a little bit closer just to see if she can figure out what the small things are.
Okay. They are kobolds. You can see clearly now that they are in fact kobolds. And there's all different, they are all dressed wildly differently. And they all look like they are bossing each other around. But they're carrying stuff and throwing it into this giant pot. And the stuff that they're carrying is all over the place. But it looks like weapons and armor and other similar objects that are all glowing. Different kinds of magical items. They are tossing it into this molten metal pot, melting them down, and it's forming this column of smoke and storm.
Okay. Does it look like there's anyone like in charge? Or is it just other people?
You would have to do a stealth check to check it out, but assuming you don't want to be seen, to get that kind of detail. But before I ask you to do that, the rest of you guys, Akiri hasn't come back. It's been a little while now. You're either going to have to make camp where you are, sunset is gonna come soon, so you have time to either make camp where you are, or follow after her, or get farther away from the column of smoke. What do you want to do?
I think we have to stay here. She's not going to be able to find us easily if we're not approximately where we are. And if she winds up in trouble, I don't want to have to make her have to come searching for us.
I'm fine with you guys staying there.
Well, I mean, if we move closer to where she was going, wouldn't she see us if she was flying back?
I suppose closer.
This is a foresty region. I mean, unless we make ourselves real obvious, there's a chance she may not notice us through the trees. I think the safest thing for Akiri is if we stay where she knows she left us.
Okay. Bliss looks worried, but he agrees with you guys.
So you guys make camp where you are. So you're only about an hour's journey by foot away from where Akiri is at the moment. Akiri, did you want to try to get closer to try and do more reconnaissance, or do you want to turn back, or something else?
I think Akira's gonna turn back to see about what she needs to do.
When you turn around, the Aarakocra wheeling in the sky, the magic storm almost seems to take notice. Akiri, lightning snaps down in your direction. many colors of lightning. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Battle for Kiri.
Kiri, you are struck by a column of crackling, snapping, greenish lightning. Make a Constitution saving throw. Akiri, you felt dizzy for a second, as though a great weight had come upon you. You drop, you're flying about 200 feet up in the air. You lost it for a second there, and you dropped like 30 feet before you caught yourself, as though you felt incredibly heavy. And it was not pleasant, and you still take damage.
Okay.
From the wild and chaotic magic that almost turned you to stone. You take 16 points of damage. Akiri, are you flying out of there still at a steady pace?
She's a little faster now.
She's going to try to fly faster?
Yeah.
Constitution saving throw. Another bolt of lightning dips down toward you. Go ahead and make a dexterity saving throw. Woo! You dodge this one. Barely. Pink lightning flashes by your face, barely missing your beak. As you bob and weave around. You felt it just before the lightning flash into place, like the air in that particular spot just got really dry, and you almost felt like a tension or a noise in that spot. You dodged from there. Yeah, barely. Akira, you get away. Folks, about half an hour later, Akiri comes winging into your newly made camp. You spot the tents amongst the trees, Akiri, and she's a bit singed and a bit worse for wear.
Are you all right? What
Yeah.
happened?
Let's avoid that. I found the kobolds they were talking about. And that stuff back there, they've got like they've got a giant pot, and they're melting down a bunch of magic weapons and armor and stuff, and they're in the pot, and that's what that is all about.
We only heard "Oh my," Bella.
That's about what I said.
All right.
Yeah, that's scary.
I think it might be best if we avoid lighting a fire tonight, given how close we are, and kobolds. I really don't want to mess with kobolds right now.
Fair enough.
Okay. No fire. you guys take cold comfort there in the forest. Your tents and bedrolls keeping you warm. You eat your dinner cold. And who is on first watch?
I'll go.
I'm about to say, Kiri's wired from the whole happening, so she's gonna take the first watch too.
Okay. The two of you, please roll. Please roll perception.
All right, we did pretty good.
Not bad at all. As twilight dims, you're noticing something else growing brighter. You look up at the sky, Bella, and point. Akiri, you flap up to the top of the nearest tree. That storm is widening. In fact, the giant swirl of clouds, like the arms of galaxies, is nearly overhead. And the trees all around you, you can see Akiri into the distance from the top of this tree. They're lighting up green, pink, blue, purple, as streaks of lightning rake the forest below.
Oh, we're gonna have to deal with this. Oh wait, I'm asleep. Never mind.
She's gonna tell Bella what's going on.
At least it's pretty.
Yeah, when it's far away. I'm not trying to kill you.
Yeah. I don't know what to do other than keep an eye on it. Is this something that... I mean, do we have to go find them?
I sure hope not. It's a lot of kobolds.
That's what I'm thinking, is I don't want to take on an entire, kobold village. Even if I'm unhappy at what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure we have the manpower to make this stop.
That's what I think too. I think we should just keep an eye on it. When it comes to us, we'll deal with it then.
You keep an eye on it, and the storm gets closer. And closer.
I wonder what they're doing with all that stuff.
Yes, it seems counterproductive, but I'm sure they have some reason for it.
Yeah, probably.
I wonder if it's the same group of kobolds that Typho was part of. Remember they said that Typho's village was somewhere in this area.
Oh, yeah, but she was part of the lizard folk tribe.
Oh, right. She wasn't a kobold.
She was confused. No, she was a kobold, but she didn't think she was.
Or she was a kobold, but she wasn't part of the kobold tribe.
Yeah. She was a confused kobold.
I remember now. Well, then it wouldn't be her folks, but maybe Ziklu's people. I don't know if he was from the same area as them.
I don't know either.
It was kind of hard to figure out. I'm honestly not sure if they knew where they were from.
I don't think they did either.
Yeah, it was a little... But, not everybody has to know where they come from, I guess.
Yeah. They seem to enjoy it.
Okay. The storm is it's coming swifter and swifter now. It's only maybe 15 minutes from reaching you guys.
Do you think we should wake everyone up and move them, or?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
All right, so we wake everyone up and let them know that we need to move out of the way of the storm.
Okay.
Is there an out of the way? I mean, it seems like it's spreading as a circular radius.
Oh no, did we lose Mavra?
Yeah.
Yes, Mavra had to.
Oh, bummer.
We're off.
Okay. Right. Bye, Mavra. Right. It's not the storm is spreading in all directions from that central point.
So we could still move around it.
I think the best thing would be to move away, but it's moving pretty fast.
I have the perfect thing to visualize this. It looks like this. Ping.
Right.
Moving outward like that.
As long as we don't subscribe to the Prometheus school of running away from things, I think we could just move away.
Gary's gonna.
Giant magic storm seems like a legitimate runaway situation.
Yeah. Akira's gonna hop up to the top of the trees and watch again to see if there's to see where the lightning's hit. Is it like staying to the tops of the trees, or is it like actually hitting the ground as well? Or
Well, you're asking about the lightning?
yeah. Does the storm seem to be like encompassing like the entirety of the forest, or is it just like the top of it, or is it staying?
The lightning is striking the tops of the trees and amongst the trees as well. And the trees that are struck are changing.
Gotcha.
So some are turning to stone, some turning to ice trees. Others burn or are disintegrated.
I think we should make a decision pretty quickly how we want to avoid this.
Yeah, Akira's gonna land back down and say, we just gotta get. I'm not sure where we should go, but we should definitely go.
It's now close enough that you can all hear the thunder.
Did we notice any caves? Or is it still too swampy for that to be part of the landscape?
Do you see any caves now?
Did
we
we notice
notice
any on our hike?
Yes, you did, actually. But you mostly avoided them because they looked like they might be the lairs of creatures.
Well, if we take the Grey Render with us, then it's definitely about to become the lair of a creature. But maybe he to help us out.
I know it may be dangerous, but it seems like it'd be a lot safer than staying outside in this storm.
It's
I
only
think we should go back to that.
5 minutes away now.
I think we should head back to that cave we spotted.
All right, but let's
Agreed.
go. It's getting closer.
Agreed.
Let's go.
You guys can outrun this thing at the moment. However, you don't have time to pack up all your camping gear at this point. Your tents, your bedrolls, anything else that you would have out for camping purposes.
That's sucky.
Unfortunate, yeah.
Bella, your voice is not coming through.
Um,
Oh, we
leave
heard
it
that.
and check it out tomorrow. Is
Okay.
my vote.
Alrighty.
We can buy new tents. We can't buy new not stone bodies.
That's true. Might be a little uncomfy, but it's a lot more comfy than being dead.
Okay. I'm going to ask everyone to make Constitution saving throws as you start trekking in the night back toward the swampy area from whence you came. As you recall, there was a sort of a hollow back a ways.
That first one I rolled is for Mavra, the second one is for Breath.
Got it. Okay. None of you are getting levels of exhaustion, so you're all very tough. Congratulations.
We're hardened adventurers.
You see, you're barely staying ahead of the storm. You can move. You're moving faster than it's spreading, but still. You see a light. In fact, you see multiple lights. There's one light, kind of off a ways, like a little bit more parallel to the storm, not directly away from the storm. And there's a couple of smaller lights in the direction you've been going, back toward where you saw that hollow in the swampier part. Do you want to keep going toward the multiple lights? Or do you want the small lights? They look like maybe candle lights. Or do you want to turn and go toward what looks like a largish lamplight or something, or something similar? Maybe from a building.
We're headed towards a cave, right?
That's where you were headed. And in the direction you were heading, you now see some lights. Some small lights. But you also see another light off to the left, off to the south.
I guess I look for the lamp lights because it might be people.
Or it could be whatever jumped into the swamp earlier.
Yeah, maybe. But we don't have any reason to think that there was anything hostile about that.
So you want to head toward the lamp or the candles? The candles are in the direction of the cave that you were already heading. The lamp is in a different direction.
Let's go towards the candles.
Yeah, I vote cave. We're not going to be safe from this thing if it keeps spreading unless we get in something.
True. All right, cave it is.
Okay. Having made your decision, you stay ahead of the storm, the magic storm turning trees to stone or setting them on fire behind you. And somewhat wearily, you make it here to this wet, kind of hillocky area where twisted swamp trees grow up amongst the stones. And here is the hollow that you remember passing by, kind of under a tree. And now surrounded by candles in the night.
This is either really good or really.
Well, I don't think we have much choice.
Yeah, in we go. Also, is the gray render anywhere?
Oh, I forgot to ask whether you guys were taking the cart and eggs with you. I assume you were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. That would have been challenging, but okay, you can do that. You might be better off grabbing the eggs and leaving the cart, but we'll forget that for now. That just means that you're not outpacing the storm as much as you otherwise might have. Okay, you guys go inside there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. As you guys rush in, chased by the lightning, you are somewhat astonished to find this creepy location looking not like the lair of a beast, but looking rather homey inside. That hole leads down to an underground chamber. Kind of hollowed out under the earth. And there are little alcoves with more candles burning. There are mushroom-shaped chairs around a kind of tree stump in the middle of the room. And somebody turns, looks up at you with a shocked expression, and says, "What in tarnation are you doing here?" He looks like a ghost. He's so pale. And he's wearing an apron as he, you've interrupted his late night snack.
Ella, bless on you all.
He is a gnome. And he holds up this candle, peering at you guys as you, somewhat bedraggled, invade his home, crowding around.
I am so sorry that we bothered you. We didn't realize that.
He whips out a wand. Bothering me! Bothering me! He starts flicking the wand.
I would like to make a persuasion roll at this point.
Okay, go for it.
That's a fucking 12.
Oh, that was a bad roll.
Bliss, you want to help me out here?
Yeah, I think Bliss will step in and say,
I think he's gonna get his spell off here. So we have to deal with that first.
I didn't know he was doing a spell. I thought
He was
just
using a wand, I said?
I thought he was just threatening us or waving it around.
Well, yes, that's how you cast spells.
Fair enough.
He uses this streamer of spiderweb shoots out of the wand. All of you need to make a dexterity saving throw as you've crowded in here.
Ooh, not good for me.
Say.
Okay. Well, Breath dodges out of the way. But everyone else is stuck in the sticky webbing. And he says, You burglars!
Oh, hold on. Absolutely not. No, we're not here to be burglars. 100%.
You're not here to be burglars, but you're burglars. You've burgled me.
I don't
cast charm person.
I ain't got no respect for you, home invaders. He pulls out another wand.
I'm casting charm person.
What's that? Sorry, Bliss, what are you doing?
I'm casting charm person. This is ridiculous.
Okay. That'll be a wisdom save.
Yes. He has to beat a 16.
He will fail.
Okie doke.
He looks at you. You look like you have a reasonable air about you, young man.
Thank you, sir. I'm so sorry that we bothered you tonight like this. I promise we are not burglars. My companions and I are not. We are simply trying to avoid the terrible storm outside, and we'd greatly appreciate if you would offer us some shelter. For we're worried that it will strike us down and turn us into frogs or something terrible.
He leans, peers through the webbing that he himself has created. And just then, some pink lightning flashes down, turning the ground outside into feathers. And he says, Oh, I see. You're travelers, eh?
That's right. And we had made camp and we were minding our own business when this storm just came closer to us, and we saw what it was doing to the landscape and wanted no part of that.
He takes a big bite of what looks like an actual bird's nest and crunches it. Well, those webs will melt in a minute. He says, I've got my eye on you. What are you doing traveling through the wilderness anyway?
This is actually looking for a little bit of help for that one. Weird.
Our feathered friend here has been separated from her family. We're trying to get her home.
I carry Nod, sadly.
Well, I guess you're here to wait out the storm then.
Yes, please, if you wouldn't mind hosting us. Again, we apologize for this unwarned intrusion, but we didn't have much other choice.
And sir, we're certainly not going to expect a freeload here. Is there some payment we can offer?
Well then, I'm nothing if not an entrepreneur. He holsters his wand. Let's see here. Well, I've got something that you need. And is in limited supply. Adventurers, I take it. Not bandits.
No. Just adventurers.
Well, right then. I'm sure we can come to some kind of arrangement. I'll think on that. He flicks the wand of web, and the webs slowly melt away, and you can kind of get your bearings in here. There's all these kind of roots that have grown down, and that he's kind of shaped into shelves, and there's a sort of a stove at one side with a pipe that goes up through the tree up above, and as the lightning flashes around outside, you can see it's quite sturdily constructed, even though it looks like it was dug by an animal. There's also a sort of a tunnel, like in the back of this one-room hovel under the tree here. He says, "I am Frug Framplestamp, at your service."
My name is Bless, and these are my companions. I will let them introduce themselves.
Hi, my name's Breath.
Hi, I'm Akiri.
I'm Bella.
And Maver introduces herself, and he says, "It's nice to meet you, I'm sure, even if it is under somewhat unusual circumstances. So, afraid of a little rain, are we?"
More afraid of being turned into a tree.
That's not as bad as what I was about to turn you into.
Well, if we'd known that at the time. But as I said, we didn't really have any reason to think that there was anybody in here. We were just running as fast as we could toward whatever shelter we could find.
There's no Aarakocra settlements nearby in the Mistmire that I know of.
We're just passing through here to get to the other side.
We have a while to go.
I see. Well, I suppose you'll be wanting to rest. But this is no inn, you hear?
Oh, we understand. We appreciate your hospitality.
Visitors. So what are you offering in return for the shelter that will save your lives?
Do you have much use for gold out here in the woods?
Gold is nice. Gold is always nice, yes. I'd accept me some gold, aye.
Well, in that case, we can gladly pay.
Well, how much are your lives worth, then?
Well, there are 6 of us here. Let me... I have a quick aside to...
You're 6 big folks. None...
Bliss seems a little insulted.
How about 10 gold a head?
10 gold pieces a head? He looks you up and
That's
down.
more than 10 times what we would pay at an average inn.
This is no average circumstance.
No, sir. Hence offering 10 times the price.
Well...
We'll also offer, we're in the habit of keeping watches through the night. We're more than happy to post 2 of our number outside the door in order to alert you to any danger that's coming this way.
Oh... no thanks. But I'll tell you what. He's eyeing your guys, like your golden armor, Bella, and like the obviously magical items that you guys are carrying, and the bulging sacks of money. You pay 20 gold a head. I'll let you sleep here the night. And I'll tell you how to avoid the Onsigam tribe patrols in the morning.
I'll pay that.
Yeah, that seems totally fair.
Sir, your hospitality is only exceeded by your generosity.
And don't you forget it, Frog Frapplestam, generous to a fault.
All right, I'll pay him my 20 gold.
Yep.
So you all fork over 20 gold pieces. He chuckles to himself as he counts them. And he says, well, you're free to stretch out on the floor or what have you. Bird's nest. He holds out an actual bird's nest. Made of twigs and hair.
Thanks, but no thank you.
Suit yourself.
If I could pull Bella aside for a second.
Of course.
Bliss will kind of quietly say to Bella, I'm sure you know this, as you are like, but my charm spell will only last for about an hour, at which point he'll know that I charmed him. Do you think the money will be enough to not make him not get really angry at us?
I was going to tell everybody that I don't trust this man as far as I could throw him, which is not particularly far. And I think we should keep watches regardless of whether he wants us to or not.
I agree. Yeah, no, he's definitely... We need to keep an eye on him. It almost seemed like it was too easy.
Yes.
I okay.
Well, that's probably because you charmed him.
Yeah, you're probably right, but still, I agree. I think we should be careful.
All right. So I'll say, with your kind permission, we'll keep some watches on the outside as regardless, just to make sure that we don't need to move on. But we promise not to intrude at all upon whatever it is that you were doing here in your home.
Nonsense. You're as safe as houses in here. I'll keep watch for you. Don't worry.
Okay.
Do you want to just kind of subtly not go to sleep because you're busy with some kind of a thing for an hour? I could lend you a book.
Wait, were you talking to the gnome?
No, I'm talking to Bliss.
Oh, okay.
Bliss will just he'll just say, I'll just pretend to be asleep. I think I can pull it off.
All right. Wake me up when you're done, or wake someone else up and clue them in as to what's going on.
He nods, and he'll curl up with the eggs like normal, but he's I'd like to say that how do I want to say this? Bliss knows how to fake sleeping to avoid having to do certain things for certain people in bed. So I'm gonna say that he's very experienced in the art of pretending to be asleep while not actually being asleep. So he's keeping an eye on the gnome, with his eye, making it look like he's asleep, but he's just being careful to not give away that he's awake while he watches.
Okay.
I could make up like a performance roll or something too.
Yeah, make a performance roll. So the rest of you kind of lie down. You're feeling pretty tired at this point. It's extremely late for you guys. It's very dark. There's flashes of lightning outside to keep you awake, but the tiredness may eventually win out. You don't have your blankets for the most part, so you kind of have to roll up your jackets and whatnot. Bliss pretends to be asleep. And the gnome seems to buy it. He's counting his gold. He just made 100 gold pieces. Easy money.
100.
What?
120, right?
Yeah, there's 6 of us.
Oh yeah, there's 6 of you. That's right. So he made 120 gold pieces, and he is kind of counting them over and over again and putting them into his bag. And he, by the way, he looks, I mean, he's pale. He's rather eccentric looking. He's got these holsters for various wands about his person. And he's also in this creepy place, which, although it does look lived in, it doesn't. There's like a bed for him, like in a sort of a nook formed by a root sticking out of a dirt wall. But there's no books. There's no, there's not a whole lot of, like, eating materials. There's not a whole lot of stuff. So, the hours drift on by, the storm rages all around, lighting up the walls occasionally with the many colors of lightning. And,
Okay, I think... oh, sorry. Go ahead.
What's that, Bliss?
I was just going to say, after the appropriate amount of time for our watch, I would probably like stir and try to go wake Bella and, I don't know, swap places with her.
All right.
Okay. So you'll pretend to be asleep, but then you'll wake up.
I'll just kind of like, make it look like I need to stretch or something, and got restless and got up to go talk to Bella about something. And I mean, she's about to pretend to be asleep too. So, I would, from an outsider's perspective, I think it just looks like Bliss got up, stretched, went over to talk to Bella, went back to sleep, and then Bella got up, stretched, and then she went back to sleep.
Okay. That being the case, Bella, this is your second watch.
I know.
So you are going to have to make another Constitution saving throw to avoid falling asleep for real when you pretend to be asleep.
Sorry, I thought I wasn't paying attention. I thought you said to wake you up.
Yeah, I said that was fine.
You are tough. All right, make your performance roll. You are way too spooked out to fall asleep, Bella. Everyone else is slumbering. You are lying awake, pretending to be asleep. And you watch out of one eye as the gnome kind of peers over the edge of his bed. He kind of grins. And he taps his holstered wands, and he quietly gets up. And he stealthily, in the flashes of multicolored lightning, you can see his shadow, tiptoes toward the back of the dirt hovel, where there's this other tunnel I mentioned, leading out the back way. And he kind of peers into that hole. He looks over his shoulder at you guys. And he tiptoes into the hole, into the tunnel, as it turns out. And you faintly hear him calling, Sienna, Martha, it's your best friend, Frog. Do you want to do anything, Bella? He is out of the room at the moment.
I'll sit up and stretch sleepily.
Okay.
And pull out a book and start reading. I'll pull out my human skin book and start reading that one.
For real? Okay.
Not for real reading it, just for real pretending to read a book made out of human skin.
You're pretending to read it?
Yeah, I'm watching him.
Okay. Well, he goes out of sight around this tunnel, in the back of the dirt hovel. And he's calling out, Sienna, Martha. You're fading out as he gets more farther away. Have I got a treat for you?
All right, at this point, I'm going to wake everybody up.
You are all once again awakened.
I say, our friend Frog is trying to feed us to something.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
You know, gnomes are usually a lot harder to charm. I kind of figured that this was a trick.
Well, better be ready for whatever comes out of that hole back there, and I'll show them where he just disappeared.
What's above the end of the hole? Is it like dirt ceiling? Is it more roots?
Yeah, dirt and roots. It's dirt held in place by roots.
Is the storm still outside? Has it passed by?
It is still storming outside.
Okay. Alright, well. Got my tambourine ready.
Thank God.
I'm wondering if I can go just like right to the entrance, the ceiling of the tunnel, and like stab my sword into it, try and cause a bit of a cave-in.
Well, there's a big stone there, so you hit the stone.
Can I make the stone fall down?
Make a strength check.
Come on, hitting the stone. I don't suppose I can use my inspiration after the fact, can I?
Sure.
Yes! Spending that inspiration.
22. You guys watch as Breath kind of grunts and groans and rips this massive stone out of the ceiling in the back of the hole. And with a loud thump and this whoomph of collapsing dirt, starts sealing off the tunnel.
Oh wow, that works. You think you can blast through it?
You guys hear some distant noises just as that's happening. Don't you dare! And then it's cut off by the large rock and dirt.
That was some good thinking, Brett.
Thank you. I figure, I mean, he's a magical fellow. There may be a way he can get through that, but at least it will eat up some of his effort, and we'll have a bit more time to ready ourselves.
Indeed. Good thinking, Breath.
I wonder if we could continue getting some sleep while we wait for him to break through that.
If you can sleep, be my guest.
I am pretty tired.
You guys, some of you collapse down. I'm going to ask everyone to make another Constitution saving throw, please.
Holy shoot! Uh-oh.
Bill and I are sleepy. We've been awake for a very long time.
Yeah, this is our second watch.
Did double sent.
The fake sleeping, the performance of it is just draining.
Yeah.
I'm a meth actor.
Right on. Well, as it turns out, you start to see the large stone twitching as some kind of magic is blasting it from the other side. At around the same time as the storm begins to retreat from this area. And the sun is rising and driving it away. So, if you want, you could just leave.
That's not.
Yeah, let's do that.
Before we leave, when he went down that little tunnel, did he take the gold with him?
Oh yes, he put it in his own personal satchel.
God damn it.
Yeah, he doesn't deserve our money. He's a bad host.
You guys stumble out of the hole in the dawn light. Somewhat groggy. Anyone? Let's see. So, Bref, did you roll for yourself first?
Yes, the first one's me, the second one's Bill.
So, Bref, Bella, and Akiri, you have all finally succumbed. You know, as you wake up the next morning, sometimes you can be awake at night, and then you try to get up the next day, and then it finally hits you. That's what's happened to you.
Do you mean Bella and Akiri?
Yeah, I got a 23. That 11 was the strength roll to bring down the rock that I used my inspiration on.
Oh, yeah. You got a 23, yes.
Yeah, I was confused. Like, wait a minute.
Bella and Akiri have taken a point of exhaustion, so I'm going to ask you to mark that on your character sheets. Which, in the effect of one level of exhaustion, is that you have disadvantage on ability checks and skill checks.
Okay.
So you guys stumble out into the dawn light. You find that the candles are all still burning. And many of the trees round about have been somewhat altered by the storm. Some of them have turned to stone. Some of them are smoldering. But for whatever reason, whether it's a quality of the Mistmire or this forest that you don't know the name of yet, or something else, perhaps a quality of the storm. The forest is slowly starting to reset itself, to grow back. The stone trees are turning back into wood. The ice trees, the same thing. They're growing their bark back. It's kind of reforming, becoming slowly. It's going to take hours. But you can see that it's going to kind of look normal again.
Wow, this place is weird.
Do we want to go back to our campsite?
Better.
We should probably check to make sure it's...
Yeah, let's head back that way, pick up our gear if we can. If not, either way, I mean, the swamp was bad, but I also don't want to stay here.
Yeah.
I agree. Let's get out of here.
You guys hear a crack sound as a shattering stone.
All right, let's go.
And a bunch of grunting from the hole behind you. And you hear a voice. Fine, Allie! Sienna! Martha! Sniff them out! Take them down! They got money!
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, we're going.
Okay, you guys flee. But not before two boar-headed women charge out of the hole, chasing after you. So you guys run off. You can look over your shoulder, and you see them accompanied by Frug, Fapplestamp, who is now full on, waving his wand around and trying to chase you down. He says, "Get them! Get them!" David, the burglars, I say. You guys, despite being somewhat tired, still show a light sets of heels and run off through the forest. They don't seem super inclined to chase down the 6 of you with just the 3 of them, now that they no longer have the advantage of you being asleep. Okay. You guys are able to make it back to your camp. And you find that, Bref, your tent has been turned to stone. Oh, hang on one sec. Yes, Fapplestamp calls out after you guys. Welcome to the Hungerwood.
I don't feel welcome.
You're a really bad host.
Not as civilized as the elves were, that's for sure. Or as nice.
Yep. A crazy orgy fae place. It was nice and safe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm glad we left that too.
So, Ref, your tent has been turned to stone. It's a stone tent now. So you have you are down a tent and a bedroll as well. So strike that from your character sheet unless you intend to lug around the stone versions. Bella, your packet of rations was damaged to the storm. It was it was struck by some pink lightning and turned into a pile of feathers.
Well, that's unfortunate.
And you have lost all of your rations. So strike those from your character sheet.
All right.
And other than that, your guys' stuff managed to come through mostly unharmed. Some of it was singed by fire or acid lightning, but it's still for the most part it's pretty usable.
Bliss can share some rations with you, Belle.
Thank you.
Yeah, don't worry. You're not going to starve.
Yeah, I've got a bunch still.
I thought I'd just have to tap into my elvish blood and try foraging for berries or something.
Kiri can do that. Oh, I have create food and water up too, so.
Oh, well, there you go.
But based on everything we've seen during our travels these past few days, I would not eat anything within 100 square miles of where we are right now.
That's fair.
Okay, guys. Well, you pick up the remainder of your camp. No need to kick out the fire, as you discover it has been turned into solid ice, including the logs and stones.
Wow.
Are the flames turned to ice too?
The
or?
flames are ice flames.
That's cool.
They are
You
slowly
write a song
starting...
about that.
They are slowly starting to melt in the sunlight. The trees, however, as the hours will pass, they're progressively becoming more and more tree again. Anything that was affected by the storm in the forest. The hungry wood is resetting itself.
Okay. Well, do we want to try to rest to let, or do we need to just move?
You guys hop in the cart,
Sure.
at least for now.
All right.
The storm has once again retreated, I will tell you, and now it's back to just hovering over the column of thick, lightning-filled smoke back where the fortress lies.
Kiri's gonna point at that and say, just don't go towards that.
Bliss will relinquish his normal spot to Akiri and Bella so that they can ride in the cart and get some sleep.
Okay. Well, now that you've more or less put yourselves back together again, we are going to call our session for tonight. Thank you all very much for playing. I just want to know what direction you guys intend to head next.
Probably southeast.
Yeah, I think southeast from here.
Okay. Well, as you will take off southeast, you'll hear a low morning song start up. To the eggs underneath where Bella and Akiri are sitting. It is going to be a challenge to travel through the forest as you go, what did you say, southeast?
Yeah.
But I'm sure you will manage it next time in the Wildlands. Thank you all very much for playing, staying up late, and all that good stuff. Much appreciated. Thank you to everyone who was hanging out to watch tonight. Thank you for the Man with Those thank you to the man with no screen name for hanging out in chat. Thank you again to Scaremare, who gave out 5 community subs 3 days ago. Wow, what an awesome thing to do. Much appreciated. So encouraging to continue streaming. Thank you to anyone who's watching this, who watches this later. You're awesome. And thank you to the folks who... I'm going to be starting up a new campaign soon. I'm going to be running a Curse of Strahd campaign. So keep an eye out for that, as that will be on Sundays, Sunday afternoons. We may show something next Sunday, or it might be a little farther away than that. But I'm going to be running Curse of Strahd, folks. My first paid campaign as a dungeon master, so that's going to be pretty cool. Okay,
Y'all,
guys.
I've been reading some of the character creation notes that are going on in the Super Commoner Discord, and it's going to be an interesting game. It's got some really fun ideas.
Lots of fun characters are being created. So come into the Discord. I just put the link in Twitch chat. Come and hang out in the Discord if you want to see what's going on there and say hello. But, guys, thank you so much to Jeremy, player of Breath. Thank you to M, player of Akiri. Thank you to Kirsten, player of Bella. Thank you to Nico, player of Bliss. And thank you to both Danielle and Corey, who couldn't be here for the full session tonight. Guys, you are awesome players. Have a great week. See you next time.
Bye, guys.
Bye, everybody.
Bye-bye. Outro by Taladar.